Starts streaming. All right, everyone. Hey, we're streaming live here from Bari, Puglia, my home region. With a very good friend and a fellow tech founder. We met quite a few times in San Francisco, in Bay Area. Yes, I'm looking destroyed because I am really tired today. So sorry about that, but we're still gonna do it because we promised we were gonna talk about some thoughts that we have in common. So this is Gabriele Sorrento once again. Gabriele, maybe I'll just let you introduce since I think you're doing better overall today. I'm super tired.
Hey Vince, thank you very much. Gabriele Sorrento, CEO co-founder of Mindesk. Mindesk is a virtual reality real-time platform for engineer, architects, and designers that helps them speeding up the prototyping and design concept phase. In fact, they can work directly from CAD to VR in a seamless way without exporting their model. It's pretty cool. There are companies like Zadi, Sarah Design, Azimuth Yacht already using it, and it's pretty straightforward. You just launch the application, CAD application, link to VR, and you can work inside virtual reality or collaborate. Some architects link it to the Unreal Engine to have real-time rendering of their project as they model it. It's overall pretty useful. But hey, thank you very much for giving me this window
Yeah.
and to talk tech today. I'm pretty curious about the topic that Vince is going to launch tonight because Vince is a sort of Vulcan. Like every time you come up with new ideas, new inspiration, it's such a great guy.
No, I mean, like, I think I love this guy and respect him as well, a ton. So yeah, we're gonna come back here in the camera. Yeah, basically, I think whenever you live abroad, you start to get a lot of ideas. You start to see what's going on, especially if you live in other countries. And now that I've been spending more time back in Europe, I've been having a bit more time to take it a little bit slower and think about stuff better. So most of the stuff I've been thinking is like, what is stuff that I need wouldn't that would help me solve some of my problems. And something I've been thinking about it for a long time is actually like how to manage your network. So today we're going to talk about that. Now I've hit like 22,000 connections on LinkedIn, and it sounds cool, but it's actually a nightmare from the other side because it's like people are everywhere. It's hard to keep in touch. You don't really know everyone. And it's hard to know it's hard to get to people that you need at a specific time. So I think it's a problem that more and more people have, even if you just have like 5,000 contacts, let's say, it's still an issue, right? I think beyond the few thousand contacts, it starts to become an issue. And hey, hi Kim. Yeah, we're always having fun. I'm seeing the chat here, so I'm able to reply to some people. So we show that we're really live. It's interesting. Some people that put this little smiley there, like, what is going on? No, we're just talking. We're just live streaming.
Stream happens.
That's a pretty good one. So basically, like, I was super happy that this guy has a similar interest because we're definitely gonna keep in touch about it. And I actually wrote live while I was talking to you. We had this call on a weekend, few weekends ago, and he was asking me like, how do you manage your network? And I was telling him like, here's how I do it. I got my LinkedIn, I got my phone book, but there's more that needs to be done. And like one of the things we're thinking about is how do I do it so that I can prioritize the people I want to talk to and people can prioritize me, and then the app would basically do the matching and say you should both talk to each other. So this is a direction that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and I've sketched something out. Haven't had the chance or the time to put it yet into a product, but basically it's all about like how do we keep your network, how do you activate it, and those are my general thoughts. Then actually, meanwhile, I'll pass the word to Gabriele, and of course we'll take any questions that you have on the topic because we're seeing the comments in here. And I'll also take a look at what I've already written on Medium while I was on a phone with Gabriele some time ago.
I mean, you just say that you have more than 5,000 connection, and for you this is a problem. Well, I've heard that our brain is not able to manage more than 150 people.
Right.
So that's a very difficult stuff. Actually, there are people that are very actual fond friend of mine, like close friend of mine, which I meet sometimes, and I say, "Hey, but are you the guy who also watch Rick and Morty?" And say, no, I never watch Rick and Morty. So, after a while, you start forgetting details about people you love, and that feeling is horrible. And back in the day when Facebook started, Facebook used to be a great networking app, and but I think that the latest privacy issues that Facebook had kind of hindered the networking model they were building. I remember this time that there was this cool application for Facebook that represented all your connection on a wheel, and all the connection of connection, so you could see the topology of your networks, how it looked like. It was great because I've been living many different lives. I've been living in Bari. I lived in Lecco near Milan for over 6 years, and then I lived in the United States in California for about 3 years. And back in the day when this application was available, I found out very interesting stuff. So it appeared that some people that I met in Milan, for some reason, knew friends I had in California, and I didn't know, and I would never have discovered that without that application, because for me, those three lives were completely separated and waterproof. Like there was no penetration on one aspect of a life into the other, and this kind of application gave me that kind of insights that was hidden otherwise. But that's the like new privacy limitation are kind of limiting the way we use that. And for certain point of view, that this is good because of course privacy is definitely an important matter and will be more and more important in the future. Hoping that this will not limit us furthermore. The thing is that as an entrepreneur, I share with Vince the feeling that I'm not kind of in control of my network. Like for example, if I want to, like, a lot of time happens that I speak business with some friend or colleagues, and then they need something. Maybe they need an expert in, I don't know, kerotherapy. I'm just the first word that came in my mind. And then I remember some episode from the past, like 3 years ago, I met someone who's really an expert in this field that would really help you. But damn, I cannot remember the name, or I lost his phone number, or I lost his contact. What can I do? And then you start, digging into your email, into your notes and everything. You get very frustrated and lose your mind around this. It would be very cool to have somewhere, some place where to store everything about your life, about your connection. When you meet someone, you find a way to put this person virtually there, and it's there, and you can always pick it up when it comes the time. I think this is still missing, and I really hope there will be more tools for managing networks in the future, because at the end of the day, for people like me, Vince, and other entrepreneurs, like, network is the true capital.
Your network is your net worth. Did you ever hear that phrase?
Yes, exactly. That goes beyond like stocks, money, stuff. Like, stocks can go up and down, but if you have a network that always will always add value to your life, I think it's a crucial part of an entrepreneurial life. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is such a big topic that it's easy to do a live stream about this and talk about it for 30 minutes, which is the time that we set for this. So now we're almost hitting the first 10 minutes. where we just introduce a topic. So maybe we can go a bit more in details, because I always like to make it a bit more specific, like how do we solve this, okay? So obviously, first things I do is that I like to go out on the web and, oh, what is going on? Is it showing something else? Ah, it's showing the other window, right? And give me 1 second, because I wrote full contact, but it's showing full contact of like some people fighting with each other. And that's not
Well,
really what
contacts
we
are
want.
powerful, you know what?
Oh, damn it. So I need to possibly I'll do the display capture. That's gonna be better. And just give me 1 second. There we go. This is the cool thing about going live. At least it's so we do this, and then we will do the display, and then we take this out, and then we're good. So one of my favorite apps in terms of like managing contacts has been Full Contact. It's pretty powerful. I think they're based in Colorado. That's why I like the guy from Techstar invested in there, Brad Feld. They have pretty good apps. I have 20,000 contacts, so I always run into actual bugs and issues. And I'm in chat. I'm talking to one of the co-founders. They were very nice to give me some free months, but I still couldn't figure everything out. And they're very good because going back to some of the stuff that you were saying. Basically, and by the way, I think we should do this where we also show the video capture, but it's smaller, maybe. No, what do you think?
Picture in picture. Wow, you're
yeah,
so
picture in
sophisticated.
picture. Come on, let's try it. And basically, although we don't really know what's going on, whatever. So what is? I can delete the least one of this. Good, and this. Okay. So basically, they allow you to add tags, and I think tags is a lot of what we discussed last time, and what I think, going back to your discussion, that it's a way to basically, when I already do this on my phone book. So for instance, for me, Bari, which is the town where he's from, which is the capital of our region. I think he's also SF, because I've met this guy in SF as many times as I met him in Puglia, almost. And then I have founder for him, right? And tech, I think. So that like if I want to reach out to tech contacts, they all come up and so on. Unfortunately, even Apple's phone book, when you have 20,000 contacts, it's slow as hell and it gets stuck. Maybe it's that I'm still on iPhone 7 Plus, which is partly also because Apple, I think, is not crashing iPhones as much anymore. They're letting you live them a little bit longer. Everyone realized what was happening. So like this is one of the applications that I suggest everyone to try to see like kind of like how you feel about it. They also have a pretty strong Mac application, which is this, like or web application. So you see you can add even a private tag, right? And there's kind of the other cool thing that they do is that they see if that person is on Twitter, and it starts to say like, hey, I think this is the Twitter of that person, LinkedIn of that person. So it also adds the pictures, which is also a really important thing. But again, I think, and what's cool about Full Contact, because we are kind of brainstorming some possible stuff, is that you can actually use their API to basically get all that extra detail, also I think to leverage partly their applications. And I just noticed that, for instance, MailChimp is also using their application to enrich the contacts. So this is like one of my favorite apps in terms of contacts management. But then again, I'm still falling back to between iPhone, phone book, and Full Contact a little bit in there. So I'm still looking for some good applications that work well in terms of managing contacts. I don't know what do you guys use, maybe Gabriele, what do you use in terms of managing your contact? Like what's happening now, basically?
Currently, I have huge difficulties in managing my contacts. I try for my professional work as a CEO, like to manage customers. We have our CRM in Mindesk. We use ProsperWorks, which now is called Copper. They have this special partnership with Google, so that you can track the email of whoever is in the database. And even if you start a conversation and then don't talk for like 2 months, when you resume it, you can read all the previous messages you exchange it with whoever is in your database, whether it is a partner or a client or an investor, and then you can resume for that. And So you keep track of what you exchange it. This is extremely useful, important, because you can keep your conversation consistent, and in business, that's a great help, especially for people like me. I always forget about everything, so it's a great app. But for private life, I don't know, like I feel like I'm losing a lot of experience, a lot of information. It's like it's slippery. It's like sliding away from my hands, and that's very frustrating. Do you have this feeling?
Yeah.
Also, what frustrates me is the idea that if you cannot sort your data, is like you don't own it, and that has value, so you're basically losing value, and that's unacceptable. I was cleaning my room last week, and I realized how many things, like how many books, how many little things belonging from my past I had that I wasn't even aware of, I didn't fully enjoy it. And but when I sorted it out, when I mapped everything, then I felt like this feeling of fulfillment, and to have access to more of my life. That's basically how hard drive works. Like the very first bits in the hard drive is the file system that tells you where every data is. If you lose the initial chunk, you're done. You lost everything. Life is like an hard drive. You need to sort everything.
And this is like the beginning of a long set of conversations between us about this topic, because of course we're both passionate about this. This guy's like a crazy networker. He's calling me, telling me you have a huge network, you're this and then. I'm like, man, you too. Like this guy was in San Francisco networking with like every possible VC in the place, face on the planet, and he's super good at it. And going back to like what solutions have I been trying and using to manage the network. Also, it's the favorites, the very simple favorites under the kind of iPhone phone book, right? And I was extremely mind blown and negatively surprised to see that my phone has 258 gigabytes of memory, and Apple gives me maybe, I don't know, maximum 30 contacts that I can mark as favorites, right? And then I remember that I got these groups now. Now I'm back in the iPhone phone book, but I think that I cannot organize groups from my phone. I need to organize them from my Mac. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to reduce the amount of time I'm in front of the computer because my eyes are already suffering from it. I would like to do it, of course, from my phone, but I can't. And so my question to you guys, like, again, how do you manage your network? What kind of apps do you use to better manage your network? Do you do stuff like this, like tags, like we, I think, do you already use tags on your phone book? Do you already write like for me, Chirignola or SF?
I'll tell you more about it. But yeah, the other call of action I will launch here is: do you feel this kind of pain? Because this is something interesting to, especially those entrepreneurs down there, or professionals or students, whatever you do. I think that everybody needs love. No, everybody needs network. So or they use at network to some extent, and yeah, I would really be interested in assessing whether this is a common pain.
Yeah, and I think it is more of a pain of like extreme networkers like we are, and very extroverted people, that constantly meet new people and ask like, hey, what's your number, and go around with a deck of cards, business cards, and go back to collect them. And we actually, in last discussion, we basically looked at everything possible. Like, I was like, okay, there's actually a Medium post of mine that I'll link later. How do you manage your network? So okay, I've got the phone books, I mentioned the tags, this is part of zero, organized contacts, Then I got the business cards, which are cool, I take the notes, but then like there's no standards in business cards, so then again I have to put manual work into doing that, which is like, forget about it. I brought in the example of this company called Card Munch, which was acquired from LinkedIn a while ago, which was incredibly like figuring out my handwriting. And I was like, how is this AI so good ended up it was a bunch of Indians who were absolutely like manually putting the notes together. I was like,
Prototypes.
yeah, incredible stuff. I think LinkedIn sunk that company, unfortunately. Um, and one thing I might be doing soon, which I'm doing currently with my Trello for some of the software we're building, is that I print out the cards in small kind of like business cards type of size. And I have a chunk of cards like this big. I don't know if I have it here to show you. And then I just
you have
organize.
to.
I don't have it here because I think I left it at home because for once I'm like, I'm not gonna carry it around. And then basically I just sort them out, right? So I'm like sorting out the people and putting like below the people I don't really want to talk to or don't need to talk to, or on top the people I need to talk to, right? And then imagine how cool it would be. This is another crazy idea. If those cards were smart, so you print out your VCF contacts into these cards, and then you put them back into a scanner machine, which figures out the order. And then basically you've been sorting these people manually, but you can feed it back into the system. I think more and more there's gonna be like and I was looking at the latest Panini sticker album because I was watching the Roma Juventus game live at the Olimpico Stadium last Sunday with my brother and father. It was a fun event. And the Panini sticker album is becoming so digital right now, So this was like my ideas about like how to organize the contacts. Maybe you have something to say because then I can keep going discussing this Medium post. But this was just about organizing contacts. Maybe you can comment anything I just said, and
Yes,
then we can move on to the next.
absolutely. I was actually nodding when you mentioned the tag thing. I actually kind of invented any sort of tricks to introduce tag into non-tag systems, like my phone, and the list of numbers just have very limited space for like additional structured information. So what I do is, before each name in my phone book, I put like a little sequence of numbers or letters, sequence that I invented personally, and then so when I sort all the numbers, I can have sections.
Do you
Or
rate them by most important people, like number one?
Well,
Like,
usually I map with this kind of letters. I map the geographical location where I met this person, or I don't know, some like the year I met this person. Some additional, metadata
Year's good.
that then I can when I search for that particular metadata, I get a subset of my phone book, including all the people with that metadata. This is something that maybe some phone implements by themselves, but not quite yet. Also, one system I really fall in love with was the Google Plus early days. Google Plus kind of sucked as a as a social network. We all know that. But there was one little thing in Google Plus that I think they got it right, which was the circle system.
Yeah.
So for the very few who used it, they might remember that there was this like Google Circles where you could put like your contact, you can throw them at circles and they would fill these
I
circles.
like that a lot now. I remember
But the,
that.
the cool thing, so you could create as many circles as you wished, as you
wanted
deem it necessary. But you could throw circles in circles, so it became a structured tree data structures. That was so smart because suddenly in a few clicks all the people I knew in Google Plus were sorted, and I could have very easy access to them, and then I could multiple select them, do bulk action with subset of people I met. How can you imagine how powerful could this be? Like how many things you could do. Like you can send certain Christmas wishes to your parents, another kind of Christmas wishes to your schoolmates, another kind of Christmas wishes to your colleagues, and it's very easy to sort them out, to differentiate the message. and this is just like the very first application it popped out in my mind. But for me, getting quick access to the people you know in an ordered way, whenever you need it, is unvaluable. Like for me, it will be a no-brainer. I would totally pay for that.
So I kind of want to keep going. Let's see if I can manage to finish the post. And by the way, I also love that feature of Google Plus. I remember it vividly. Even if I do think that it deserved to die because overall it was a product with a lot of issues. Like you kind of didn't know what to do on it, to be honest. But the other thing is like, what do you do on your network after you organize? You proactively reach out in a more direct way, right? So you realize, I think we all realize that if you reach out individually, like I do to this guy, right? Because I think he's a super smart guy. Obviously, people reply to you more, right? If you call them, you establish a rapport and you deepen the relationship. And so call, I think, still remains an important way to build rapport. And then everybody knows that. And then, of course, message, right, in a more kind of private way. Because if you just send a newsletter, I think it still works. There's a friend of mine, Nihal Mehta, a really good VC based in San Francisco, New York, who sends us like kind of business, private, kind of about politics newsletter. And, I like the guy and I read it. I look at it and I'm happy.
How to subscribe?
Yeah, I'll send you the link. You'll see. He's a smart guy, cool guy. Also, like the other CRM, you mentioned CRM, ProsperWorks. I need to check it out again. I've been using Streak CRM. I'll add the link later. I wish just like I could more easily set up email batches. Right now it's still too manual because I have to say like send 100 emails today and then plan 100 emails for tomorrow. So I just should say like this is
you
my...
know what? Copper do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I look forward to try it. I think we're gonna have another of this like numbered session 2 in a couple of months or so because it's a big issue. And then proactively reached out to everyone you're connected to. Whether it's like written post or documents or video on LinkedIn and Facebook and somebody. Again, it's just like what we're doing right now. Maybe some people reach out. Last time I reconnected with some people back from San Francisco and California. Obviously, this is not a good time for Italians because it's like, what is it? It's a Saturday, 9 p.m. almost. It's like no one will dialing. So, and again, yeah, I go back to these are the needs, right? More easily add the tags, more easily figure out, which is kind of like everybody brings Tinder all the time. But what Tinder did really well is this mutual match, right? I'm gonna meet dates that are mutually interested to a certain degree, since there were people who were automating the yes, either manually or like people on the plane were often seen like doing this without even looking at their screens. But imagine you actually do that really carefully with your network, with people you already know, and you say, hey, like, I kind of want to talk to you. And this is the app to prioritize me as well. And then when we're both free, this app will send both of us a notification and be like, hey, Gabriele, Vince, you're both free. You want to call each other and just catch up because this guy wants to head back to California. I might be more in Europe after 10 years away from Europe. So we kind of might lose track of each other. Hopefully not, because smart guy. But that kind of application could remind us. So this is again what I'm still pushing on, and I would love to see what you guys hear. We've got like the last minute and a half or so.
You just mentioned Tinder and. A friend of mine, told me that when you're like meeting girls on Tinder, that is a sort of a process that would actually deserve its proper CRM. Like, I spoke to this girl once, I hang out with these girls once. Hang out with this girl twice, and we went to dinner. So having like this sort of funnel pipeline for Tinder, crazy idea. Okay, Elon Musk.
No comment.
This is your next business. Go for it.
Amazing. We're ending on a great note. It's like last.
It's just a joke, but maybe not. It's hard to distinguish new brilliant technologies from jokes.
I'm gonna Google CRM Tinder, see if anybody came up with it. I'm super curious about it. But I think yeah, we promised not to make them longer than 30 minutes, so we're hitting those 30 minutes. So and anyways, it's 9 p.m. here, so we gotta go.
Dude, we should go to the bar soon.
Yeah, go get a beer.
It's Saturday.
Or
Come on.
Saturday. And but yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully we share some thoughts and needs and issues that you guys have as well, and about contacts management and network management. Love to hear your thoughts. I'll be tagging Gabriele properly from my Mac right now, and so he will see your questions as well. And yeah, I think LinkedIn, once again, is still at the early days of live streaming, so we cannot plan this live stream. We cannot say, hey, we're going to live stream in 1 week, so you cannot subscribe, what Facebook does. Unfortunately, notifications are really bad on a live stream, so in case we don't answer, please also feel free to just connect and send me a message about it, because sometimes I just don't see it because LinkedIn is still like working on its LinkedIn live platform. But anyways, thanks for doing it, because at least we can have more meaningful conversations that we tend to have, unfortunately, on Facebook, which is unfortunately full of politics, and I think it shouldn't be. So I'm just going to end on that note. Sorry, I mean, go Twitter. Thanks for taking off politics, political ads. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. Another topic for another time. We're probably not going to cover it because we're going to stay focused on tech. But yeah, once again, thanks, Gabriele.
Thank you, Vince.
And yeah, this was fun. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.